Hey, this is Ava Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com. This is a continuation of the video review for the Leader Class Autobot Optimus Prime set from the 2009 feature film Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Part 1 specifically covers the vehicle and robot modes, the details, the notes, and things like that. Part 2, which you're seeing here, is going to cover exclusively the transformation sequence, specifically from robot mode to vehicle mode. I'm going to attack this a little differently than I usually do. Ordinarily, when you get a Transformer, it's in alternate mode, whatever that may be. And then, the instructions go from alternate mode into robot mode, or it'll go into third mode, or whatever the case may be. If it's a triple changer, whatever. The first time I did this, I was very confused. I'm almost 27 years old when I'm filming this, and I was confused by it. This is a fairly complex toy in order to transform, let alone to, play around with. So I figured I'd give those noobs and those kids out there a leg up in trying to figure out the transformation. He's packaged in robot mode. The instructions start in robot mode. Maybe I should do the review starting in robot mode and work my way down. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to leave the Energon sorts out during the transformation. Here we go. Push in the knee guards. You know what? I'm not going to tell you every single little thing. I hate it when toy reviewers do this. This is also the reason why I don't... You're also not going to be able to hear me during a lot of the clicking, too. I know the limits of this camera. Dup, dup. For the upper body, really... we already know that it can do this. You can just push it up and down as you want to. Well, there's a slot, and you can see the bottom of it here. It's this black line, this thick black line running through here. Well, the red plastic runs through there. The best solution I found, and I can't really do this any other way, don't raise it all the way up. Let it drop down a little, and then wedge your finger in there, and the best thing you can do, like I said, keep it down a little. And I'm twisting in this direction right now. So you want to twist and pull out. And like I said, the best thing you do is just use brute force strength. Now, because of my collector-sized fingers, my finger's getting wedged up against that opposite. I mean, you can open up either side, but be aware that, that thing actually hurts. Of course, once you get one side off, the other one's relatively easy to get off. And then you're going to want to fold the blue sections in. Like so. Now I'm going to play a little game with you guys here. I'm going to see if I can move the head and stuff around without actually activating the Mecha Live gimmick. It's a little game I like to play with myself. At this point, you have two options. You can either continue to work on the upper body, or you can start working on the lower body. Since the instructions tell you to separate the torso, for simplicity's sake, I'll just work on the upper torso for now. This is the part. This next part, ladies and gentlemen, took me 10 minutes to figure out. I looked at the instructions like, oh my god, how do I do this? 2D, black and white instructions. Hasbro, Takara, Tommy, if you guys are listening to this, please, please, please give us, in this particular case, give us 3D color instructions, because I have no idea what the hell you were talking. I got as far as this. With the other side. And that was it. I was like, okay, where do I go from here? I can see a joint here, I can see this here, and I had to go onto YouTube in order to figure out where to go from here, okay? That's ridiculous, okay? So, anyways, that little notice that, okay, you can do this one of two ways. You can, fold it up here, fold it down. Instructions say fold it down. Okay, well, fold it down. There's a double joint. You see this silver-colored horizontal piece. There's actually two pieces in there. Flip it forward, pops it open, and you see there's an additional lever down there. Now, here's the part that I didn't get. You're going to continue to swing this part down. So basically you're doing a full 180 with it. And what it'll look like in the end is this. So, now the thing that kind of throws you off is this bar is here. Now this little piece that sticks out here is actually kind of essential to making the Mecha Live feature work. So that's why that's there. Anyways, you're going to do that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to hold this down. This actually snaps in. Let's see. Does it? Yeah. You're going to swing outward like that. You see what I did? I'll do it again. It's probably too fast. You didn't see it. I'll get it in view this time. You're going to swing out like that, okay? So it's going to stick out a little bit, okay? Now I'm going to repeat without saying it. Pop that out. Swing that down. One of the taboo subjects for me on YouTube for reviewing Transformers is a reviewer will tell you, move this lever, move this, things like this, and their hands are in the place yet. I hate reviewing Transformers. I really do, because it's tiny little parts, and they describe, okay, you have to do this, then you have to move this panel, that panel, so just shut up! Shut up! We're here to watch the toy in action, not you. Just shut up! Okay. Now we're going to take the elbows. We're going to hold on to the upper arm here and twist down so that the sword activation button is on the top. And you're going to twist the hands around like that. And you're going to want to open up the panel. Just fold it down, because that'll be useful. Same thing over here. Oops. Just changed my other thing. By the way, I love that Mecha Life feature in the upper arms. What Mecha Life feature? You'll just have to watch part 1 to figure out what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, the reason you fold these, you shifted these two things back outwards again. Now you're going to move along the shoulder joint, like the real. Oh yeah. Somebody tell me what these things are in truck mode, because they're on real trucks, but I don't know what they are. I don't know what to call them. Seriously, I can't find any references. Wikipedia has failed me. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold these up just about halfway, and then you're going to open up the panels. You'll see why in a moment. Now you notice there's a peg here, and a peg here, there's a hole here, and a hole here. Guess what you're going to do? Yep. So what you're going to do, you're going to twist. Let's see. One more. Okay, there you go. It's going to stick in like that. Okay, something shifted here. Okay, yeah. Be careful not to shift the shoulder joint in any other direction other than horizontal. And you're going to bring it to about halfway. Now, before I go on, it's gotten to the point where you need to push those Energon swords in. Because, as I understand it, it's just a low-quality problem. Because of the locking mechanism for the Energon swords, they may pop out. So at this point, you have to start remembering to double-check yourself, make sure they don't, that they don't cross each other or flip out. Now, oops, did I do it again? Yes, I did. Let's see, what time is it? It's almost 11 at night when I'm doing this, so I'm getting tired. Okay, now you're just going to match everything up, the two pegs and the two holes. Now, here's one thing. You're going to scratch your head on this, and I scratched mine on it as well. Sorry, you can't see. The arms will never, ever, ever, even now, okay, forget it. The arms will never, ever hang straight down. It's just the way the ratcheting feature on the shoulders work. They'll never point perfectly horizontal. So you're going to want to shift one way or the other, but it'll never even out, okay? Ever, ever, ever. If you can get to do that, kudos. Okay. Now, these next joints, this joint here, right? Yeah, and this joint here will actually pop off. Too much pressure is applied. They haven't popped off for me once because I knew about them ahead of time. Okay, here's the challenge. Am I going to screw up in front of millions of people on YouTube? Let's find out, shall we? I'm not going to take any chances. I'm not going to show you. This is one action I'm going to have to do off camera. Actually, no, I don't. And just complete the motion all the way down. Boom, done. Okay. Okay, here's where things get... the shoulder joints there were just complicated because the instructions weren't clear about it. Here's where it actually gets tricky. This is actually where the limits of the toy start coming into, well, play, I'll say. let's see, how do I take this? Okay. So we flipped up, or we loosened both of these because they're on pegs, okay? What you're going to want to do, fold these down, cover up his head. Now, if you look just above the red and below the screw, you'll see there's a slot in there. You see it's kind of a dark area in there. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to slip, this part here into there. Now there's a slight ridge, I don't know what to call it, there's a slight reddish ridge here that you're going to have to kind of navigate around. Let's see, I know, like, I hate reviewing Transformers, everything gets in the way. You can see, this is part, you just have to fill it. You probably have to pull on the spring a little bit. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing. It's 11 o'clock at night. Okay, there we go. Now, here's the trick. Don't lock this up yet. And generally speaking, you want to do these one at a time, just to be on the safe side. Here though is the part that I don't like, and this is kind of the limit of the toy. You had to fold this down in order to get this here, blah 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 blah. Well, what you have to do now is flip this. I don't know what this thing is, like a coolant tank or something. Flip that up. Now it is going to be putting pressure by flipping this tank up. You're going to be putting pressure on the door, so don't push too far back. You're also going to be putting pressure on the window. But you have to do it in order to get this to slip up and around, and it'll sit there calmly enough. Pull this down. Don't snap it in place just yet. And that's just a safety precaution. Same thing over here. Get in there. There you go. Hey, I did it without the Mecha Live feature going off. Woot woot. The first few days I was doing this as just, I am Optimus. I am Optimus. Oh, shut up. Fold this around. Now, here's the part where it can kind of blow up in your face. Is when you try to put the various tabs together. The arms probably will pop apart. Yeah, they just did there. I can feel the red lower arms just popped apart when I did that. So don't be too surprised if that happens. Just put things together and just blah 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 blah. Make sure you double check to make sure that your swords are still separated, because that will be important later on. This part, you just have to kind of force it. There's a little gray tab there that has to slip past the red plastic. So you have to just keep pushing until it snaps. Okay, it just snapped. Also, you want to make certain that the window is a little loose. Just a little, you know. And the same thing over here. Make sure this is loose. Okay, that's in. Okay, so that's the nose section right there. Okay, now we're going to deal with the legs. At this point, here's where it gets cool. All the video that I shot for the reviews was done about 2 weeks ago. Usually it doesn't take me this long to get the videos out onto YouTube or whatever, but scheduling and the real life got in the way and blah 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 blah. Here I am. The video is finished. It's coming along at about 32 minutes long. I apologize for the extended length. It's probably going to be bumped up to about 34 minutes now. Anyways, I'm looking on YouTube just to see some stop motion stuff, which I cannot do to save my life, and I came across an anomaly. Ordinarily, when you shoot the first time, you pick up everything you need, then you go back when you're in editing and you see, oh, I missed something, or oh, there's something that can be done here, or you know, any number of details that have been missed or lost, or you know, you need to clarify something, or blah 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 blah. Reshoots happen for many reasons. Well, I'm not particularly happy about this reshoot. I shot the stuff about 2 weeks ago, and it's fully edited, it's all put together, and I found another detail that I missed the first time. So I'm really, really, really irritated right now. What did I find? I found. I always wondered why it is these panels were loose. Didn't make any sense. Additionally, the legs look kind of squarish or rectangularish or boxish or whatever, and it's got some nice detail underneath. Well, here's the part that I was missing. They're loose for a reason. You pull out on the bottom, and look at that. There's actually a little space that extends outward. Look again. And it's just that little bit, but it is definitely enough to give it a little more flair. Why it is they don't mention that in the instructions, I don't know. But they forgot to mention it in the instructions. You're going to pop apart the waist section. Not really in a good place to grab it, so whatever. Don't you just love that sound? And it does that going both directions, of course. Oh, I don't care. Let's see. And you can see the LED sits right there on both sides for the cabin. Love that sound. And it's the only time it does that. The reason it does that is there's a little button inside the hole there, and there's a tab on the fifth wheel. That's what it's called. There's a little peg right there. It fits up in there. As I said earlier, you need to make certain that your swords are separated, because things are actually kind of critical. And you're going to want to just swing the thing down like so. Just on the safe side, I'm going to set them down. Now we start really digging into the guts of the legs. You don't have to pull these apart, but you can if you want to. Make certain that the legs are both twisted straight. Let's see. I'll take the feet first. I love the feet on this thing. It's so damn clever. Flip that out. Pull that down. Largest transformer ball and socket joint I've ever seen. Flip the wheel up. And just, snap some things, whatever. Now this is just the coolest little thing. I mentioned in the video review, or I mentioned in part 1, how the grill pattern for Optimus Prime and the 2007 leader class figure had an automorph feature built into the feet. You'd push this and swing this and shift this around, but the grill and the bumpers more or less ended up on the soles of the feet. Well, it does the same thing here because it's just more simplified. That's it. That's the grill, the headlights, and the bumper. How cool is that? And what you're going to do is fold up the feet left and right. And that's just like that. Same thing over here. So, no. Now, you'll notice, you'll notice that these inside panels, both of them are spring together. Because what you do is you ratchet the hips together one more time, and then as everything comes together, these panels will actually press up against each other. So they make them stick out to closer match what happens to the character in the movie. But then, to save you on the toy, so you don't have to make it more complex in there, it's just little spring things there. So I like that. Okay, there's a couple attachment points. There's a peg right there, and then there's a tab there, a tab on the other side. Let's put things together. Of course, I usually have this right in front of me, so trying to do it like this is a little awkward, but it fits together. And generally speaking, you want to make sure everything's lined up nice and straight. Okay? Okay. Actually, You can tell I rehearsed this, can't you? Open up these panels, pull them down. Now, there's a little tab. There's a little tab right there on both sides that fits into a hole just above my thumbnail there. Additionally, you're going to have this peg here is going to fit into this hole on the opposite side, and the little orange tab on the front is going to fit into a little slot, the slot that's immediately under the headlight. Oops. Now, it's not terribly important that you get the mudguard into the bumper, and really, you know, with the transformation and when we start putting things together, finally, you'll see that it doesn't really matter what I do here. Of course, you know, ordinarily this is in my hands or this is in my lap, not flat on a table, so I'm a little more awkward. Get in there. Close enough. I think. Yeah, close enough. Okay. Now, here's an important thing. Well, yeah, here's... There's one section here they don't tell you about in the instructions, but it is necessary. The wheels, not the upper ones, but the lower ones. If you turn it over, you see there's a pair of joints. There's some rods in there. You have to slip these down. Just wiggle it down. It won't snap, it won't ratchet or anything, but you do have, basically you pull it out and down is what you're doing. And this allows the mud guards to flip over them in vehicle mode. Just like that? Yeah. Okay. Now we're kind of getting interesting here. Now, as opposed to twisting up on this, no, that's not what you do. You twist the actual hip joints. Just like that, and then fold these wheels down. The wheels are not going to lock in place. They never did, so. And again, you always have to make certain that these, well, now forward wheels are all the way out and down. Here's the part. This is the part that frustrates me to no end. This is the part that even, you know, a month later, literally a month later, I got this July 4th and here it is August 4th. This is the part that's still frustrating to me. First thing you're going to, well, you know, first you're going to do, you're going to flip out the mud guards. Like so. And it's not really essential, but you want to get kind of close to having those as flat as possible. You also want to make sure that everything's squared up, because this black color bar has to swing past, and if they're not centered perfectly, and I do mean perfectly, it will protest quite loudly. Just felt a sword pop. Okay, sword did not pop. Okay, here we go. This is the frustrating part. Basically what's going to happen is the whole top half is going to swing forward and down. So you have a whole lot of lining up that you have to do. For me, it gets especially difficult in lining up the nose and making certain everything. Generally you don't have to worry about the back half. It's more the front half where things are locking up and you have to be real careful. Things to look for: make certain that these panels don't pop out, and make certain that the nose assembly doesn't, you know, come apart either. And watch that the grill does not come apart as well. If the mud guards unsnap, that's okay. You can fix it afterwards. But generally speaking, you want to make certain that everything else kind of stays aligned. Make certain that the ankles are not, you know, twisted around. Make certain everything's nice, flat, and square. Because this is one of those things where if it's not perfect, you're going to get real frustrated with it. So here we go. Okay, enough of that. Where's this one? Okay, here, right there. There's There's a conflict right there. You might want to twist it a little inwards. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Now there's tabs on the front of the hood that you want to put just in. Okay, you can see it's already popping out right there. It's essential. You're going to see the red here. You kind of see how things are going to line up. So this little tab here is going to disappear under the hood, but this joint, this red joint here, is going to go in front of the tab. Okay, so it's all going to disappear. You can't really just shove down either. Okay, you're going to want to put it in nose first. Those are lined up. Okay. Okay, just like this. This is a perfect alignment. You saw that gap there, now it's disappeared. Let's check the other side. You can see here it's kind of halfway in. Squeeze in behind the toolboxes and keep pushing down. Generally speaking, you're going to want to grab here and push it down. The mud guards will just kind of naturally fall into place as you go, so don't worry too much about them. It's really the nose, the front half, the cab, and everything else. When it's all lined up, it's going to look like this. On the other side, you may have to push inwards on the blue section a little. Now, as you can see, the mudguard has slipped out of position. So like I said, it wasn't really important for the mudguard to be in place, because you could just put it back in place. Okay, something's not right here. Something. I don't know. It's supposed to be tight like that. You can see it's open over here. So this is... Oops. Okay. I just goofed up right here. Whole bunch of stuff just came undone. I might have to edit my repair process here out. But I want to show you how at almost 27 years old, yes, I still have to fight my toy transfer. Oh, wow, a lot of things came undone. Yikes. I may actually edit this out. Oops. In fact, chances are I will edit this out. Why am I still talking? Just in case I decide not to edit this out, because, I don't know, I'm trying to be funny. What is going on here? Oh, that blue peg is not fitting into the bottom of the foot there. There we go. That's it. That's what it was. There we go. That's it. That's what it was. Now you can grab these aft toolboxes and just squeeze everything together. Now, of course, you don't want to squeeze too much or else you start to throw the leg sections out of whack. Okay, so we're almost there. We're in the home stretch. It won't... What is going on here? I'll tell you right now, it's not going to rest 100% on all the wheels, okay? That's just not going to happen. But we're in the home stretch. You're in the home stretch. This last part, really, it's just kind of silly, but if you do it incorrectly, it gets kind of frustrating. There's a joint right here, the blue plastic, twist outward, only 90 degrees. And what you're going to do, and I always goof this up, is you're going to twist it. You can twist this panel here and the down. Now it fits. There's a slot on the bottom of this that fits into this tab here. So I'll just repeat it, just so you can see what happens. There's a slot there. You're going to pull out. You're going to pull this panel out and twist downwards. And then you're going to push it inwards. Now one thing is essential. When changing to robot mode, one thing is essential. You have to make certain that this kind of light gray colored tab is all the way out. Because, like right here, you can't see the tab at all. And that is so that it'll snap into place and it'll be flush. So remember that that tab always has to be all the way out. If it's not all the way out, then it's not going to work correctly. Okay. And you're going to want to put these outwards. You don't have to pull them the full 90 out, but, whatever. Now there's nothing on the top. It's not going to snap into anything on the top. So you're actually going to, you can see it wants to resist a little. Don't worry about that. Now, for the smokestacks, pull these out. How do I say this? The fuel tanks are actually twisted upwards a little bit. Actually, I should look at it from this side. You see this tab here, this kind of non-functional tab? It's kind of tilted diagonally. You want to twist the tank down so that it's parallel with the edge here. Then you're going to want to twist the smokestack inwards. There's a tab on the bottom of it. Fits into the slot here. Do the same over here. Make sure it's lined up. Just like that. Let's see, where is it? Okay. You can see there's slot here, rectangular slot. It's going to fit over this tab here. Snap in place. Tab into slot. And there you have, ladies and gentlemen, Leader Class Optimus Prime in vehicle mode. Well, almost. Like I said, you will have to eventually push down on the mudguards, but that's it. And like I said, he's a little loose. You'll have to just play around with it, literally. But hey, there you go. So, it's not that it's a complicated process to get through. It's not where things go that's the problem. It's how you're going to get them there, which is really the big tie-up, which is really the big issue with the toy. I'm not saying it's an issue for me. I'm just saying it'll take you a while to kind of learn the ins and outs of it. If kids are desperately looking on YouTube to figure out how to transform this damn thing, well, I've just shown you how. You're welcome. Be sure to view part 1 of this video review for Leader